The Greedy Milkman. Once upon a time, in the small village of Sundarpur, nestled between lush green fields and winding streams, lived a milkman named Raghav. He was known across the village for his punctuality, always arriving at sunrise with his clinking cans of milk. Raghav owned 3 cows and a buffalo, and he made a decent living selling fresh milk to the villagers. But as time went on, Raghav's desires began to grow. He looked at the landlord's large house, the jeweler's gold rings, and the merchant's new cart, and he began to crave more wealth. Why should I live in a small hut when others have mansions? He thought. I work just as hard. It was then that greed began to take root in his heart. At first, Raghav started mixing a little water into the milk. Just a cup in each can, he said to himself. No one will notice, and I'll still deliver on time. His customers praised the quantity and never questioned the taste. But greed, once invited, never leaves easily. Soon, 1 cup turned to 2, then 3. Raghav began earning more profits and boasted to his wife, "Look how clever I am. I earn more than anyone in this village with less effort." His reputation, however, began to decline quietly. The villagers noticed the milk was thinner. Children grew sick. Tea no longer tasted the same. But none had proof, and Raghav always greeted them with a wide smile and kind words. One day, a wealthy merchant from a neighboring town named Mr. Seth visited Sundarpur. He planned to start a sweets shop and needed a regular milk supplier. Hearing of Raghav's business, he approached him. "I've heard you're the best milkman in the village," said Mr. Seth. "If you can supply me 20 liters daily, I'll pay you handsomely." Raghav's eyes gleamed with greed. "Of course, sir. You'll get the purest milk from my farm." For the first few days, Raghav delivered good quality milk, fearing Mr. Seth might check it. But greed crept in once again. He began mixing water slowly, just as he had with the villagers. The money came in. His hut was now painted. He bought new clothes, and his children boasted of their father's growing success. Mr. Seth, being a shrewd businessman, was no fool. He had quietly sent the milk for testing. When results showed high water content, he said nothing yet. A week later, the entire village was invited to the grand opening of Mr. Seth's sweet shop. Raghav stood proudly, expecting praise as the supplier. The crowd was excited. Sweets were distributed, but within hours, people began to fall ill. Children cried, elders complained of stomach pain, and chaos ensued. The village doctor examined the sweets and traced the cause to impure milk. Raghav stood shocked. Mr. Seth confronted him in front of everyone. "You've not only cheated me, but you've endangered your own people. Look around, Raghav. These are your neighbors, your friends, your children's playmates." Ashamed and speechless, Raghav fell to his knees. The village headman declared that until Raghav earned back their trust, no one would buy his milk. Months passed. Raghav's business collapsed. His buffalo died, and he sold his ornaments to survive. But deep inside, something had changed. One morning, he walked to the temple and sat beside the priest. "I have wronged everyone. What do I do now?" he asked with tears in his eyes. The priest replied, "Milk is meant to nourish, not to harm. Purity of product comes from purity of heart." From that day, Raghav vowed to deliver only the purest milk. He apologized to each villager, offered free milk to the sick, and helped children recover. Slowly, trust returned. The villagers forgave him, and though he never became as rich as before, he became something far greater respected. His son, watching all this, grew up to be an honest man who expanded the family dairy with integrity, always remembering his father's fall and rise. Moral of the story: greed may bring temporary gain, but honesty builds lasting respect. Shortcuts may lead to success, but only integrity leads to peace.